my name is Jocelyn Kemp, and I'm currently a graduate student at Colorado State University. I am studying to earn a master's degree in extension education, and for this semester, I am in an internship course. For this internship, I am working with Hardin County Extension, which is located in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And just for reference, Hardin County is about an hour away from Louisville, Kentucky, and Hardin County Extension is a branch of the land-grant university, the University of Kentucky, or UK as most people know it. For this internship, my coordinator is named Marla Stillwell, and I just want to say that I'm so grateful for her being with me through this process. She has shown so much excitement and enthusiasm and been able to show me so much of her experience and teach me what it means to be an agent in extension, and she's had a positive attitude the whole way through this journey. And moving forward, I just want to mention that Miss Stillwell is actually a 4-H extension agent, and this means that for the majority of my internship, I was exposed to many different 4-H programs and activities at all different age levels. One of the first programs that I worked with Miss Stillwell was a beginner cooking course, and that is called the Taste of Kentucky. And in this program, I have a picture here. It was located, of course, at the Hardin County Extension office. And this building is actually not even a year old, so it was built in the fall of 2019. So they have a state-of-the-art facility that the agents and the children get to work with. And in this facility right here, this room, they have cooking centers. So there's 4 centers where you can have a group of children, and then you have a teaching center located at the front, a cooking station. And also at this front teaching cooking station, they have a camera where you can put on a big TV above the teaching station. You can put what the instructor is cooking on the TV so the whole room can see it. Also included in this room, right behind that teaching cooking counter, is a big area for tables and chairs where you can hold meetings. And there's also an area at the front of those tables and chairs for a presentation such as a PowerPoint. So I spent a lot of time in this room because of the cooking courses and because of different 4-H meetings. So going back to the Taste of Kentucky, that class was specific to beginners. So Miss Stillwell was teaching them how to cook using knives. So there was knife safety involved, and they were learning how to cut different vegetables, and they made their own stir fry. And a cool, innovative way that Miss Stillwell made this program her own was that she taught them which vegetables were growing in Kentucky at that point in time, so they could actually go to a local farmer and purchase those vegetables. So she taught them all about the different time frames in the year where vegetables can be grown and harvested. So at the end, the children had their own stir fry. They cut all the vegetables on their own. They learned all these different vegetables, and they were able to eat it. And there was another cooking course that I attended, and that was held by a lead volunteer, and she was teaching an advanced cooking course. So in this one, she was actually focusing it on the history of the barbecue food in Kentucky, and she had the kids watch a video about the history of it. So there was a bunch of different restaurants involved in that video talking about how they make all the barbecue food and how they smoke the different meats and the whole process during all that. So for that cooking class for that day, she actually had them create their own barbecue sauce and cook their own meat with it in the oven. And for a little side to that, she actually had them cut up sweet potatoes for sweet potato chips, and that's pictured right here. And this is also another picture of their kitchen, just another view of it with the different cooking stations and food and utensils set up for the children to use. So I did attend a lot of cooking courses, and each of them were at different levels, and they learned a whole bunch of different things related to cooking that they could use in the future. And moving forward from that, I also did attend other 4-H meetings. Those include the Lego Robotics Club, the Bobbins and Sewing Club, the Trailblazers Horse Club, and the Paws Dog Club. So those are some of the programs that I got to attend. And with the Lego Robotics Club, there's a picture of it right here, just some of their Lego setup and their programs for how to code those robots and build them are right here. So basically these children are building robots and they're learning how to code those robots through a computer system to make that robot move and do what it needs to do. And they were actually able to participate in different competitions with those Lego robots. The trick to this program is that they have to raise their own money for their equipment. So for their robots that they're trying to build, their Lego kit, and also their coding programs. And probably more so their computers that they're using for these programs. So this program not only teaches them, about technology, Lego building and robots and coding, but they also have to learn fundraising and they have to learn budgeting within that program. So they're raising their own money to fund their kits for the materials to compete in these competitions. And these meetings are ran by the children. They're ran as officers, so you have your president, your vice president, your secretary, and your treasurer, and things like that. So every time these meetings are hosted, they say the 4-H pledge. They also say the Pledge of Allegiance, so I definitely got to learn the 4-H pledge during these meetings. And over here, we have another program. This is the Bobbins and Sewing Club, just a picture of the sewing machines. And that program, the children were required to make their own piece of clothing. And since they were working individually, they were actually all at different levels, depending from beginner to advanced. So for this club, I actually spoke to a young lady. She was in high school here at Hardin County. She was sewing herself a vest that she was planning to use in the rodeo, I believe. And she had been looking for a certain color of vest for a long time and she could never find it. So she decided for that project that that's what she was going to make for herself. And also at the end of that program, they host a fashion show where each child wears the piece of clothing that they made and shows it off for the people in attendance. I was also able to attend a 4-H council meeting, which I have a little picture here of the meeting minutes. And that was really an awesome experience for me because Ms. Stillwell invited me with open arms, and every single member that was a part of the council invited me with open arms. And I was very excited to see that actually on the minutes they welcomed me by name, saying that I was a Colorado State graduate student. And so everyone got to learn who I was. The parents were learning who I was. The children were learning who I was. And I felt really welcomed by that community. And I also had never been to a 4-H council meeting, so that was really neat to see how the community comes together and really plans for these programs and plans how to teach the youth. And I also got to attend another meeting with Miss Stillwell with another agent and 2 other agents and a lead volunteer. So basically they were meeting to come up with an entirely new program. They wanted to host a gardening program and they needed to come up with this whole itinerary for the program from scratch. So you have questions like, what ages are we going to work with? What days? What time of day? What vegetables are we going to grow? How long is this program going to be? Because you have to consider the growth of these vegetables. So in the end, after all these questions were answered, we actually ended up coming up with a group A and a group B. So that means twice the amount of children could be involved, and it would be once a week but with different children. And it was basically a summer-long program. So the first date is in April and the last one being in August, and that's when we were going to have the harvest party. So the children could harvest all of their vegetables that they were able to produce. And that was the final step to the program, was coming up with it and actually inviting the children to the program. So I got to be a part of that from the meeting, trying to figure out an idea for how this program was going to run, all the way up to it being advertised to the community for children to enroll in. And then we come into actually a global pandemic. So everyone knows COVID-19 and the coronavirus. This actually affected the whole nation, and we had a lot of businesses and restaurants and things of that nature shut down due to stay-at-home orders and social distancing. So during this process, we saw Hardin County Extension Office ask to shut their doors to the public. And at first it was just agents going into work. No public was allowed in the doors. And then it went to a little bit of telework for the agents. and now we're sort of working on coming back into the building, and that's not just for extension, that's for the nation as a whole. But in this process, this was actually in the middle of my semester of the internship course, so it changed the dynamic of how I was working with my internship coordinator. It changed what I was doing. I wasn't physically able to go there. So what I did was I stayed in contact with Miss Stillwell. We emailed back and forth different ideas that we were going to do. And I also kept up with how UK and Extension and Hardin County Extension was keeping up with the changes due to the pandemic. And I noticed that they did the brown bag program. So I know Hardin County is doing this program, and it's a take-home kit for children and families to do together at home, and it's like a do-it-yourself program. So I know they've sent home kits, I believe weekly, and some of the kits include friendship bracelets, do-it-yourself, hand scrubs. They have learn how to sew kits and things of that nature. So these families are able to take home these kits, and that's how they're participating in take-home projects for the time being. So I know that with the coronavirus still being prevalent in our society, that we're working on bringing extension and opening the doors back up. So we are just in the process of doing that, but right now we're using social media as a big tool to help us. So we have like a crock pot challenge where we post recipes and ingredients on the Facebook page, and then we have a video of how to cook with those ingredients. So things of that nature with social media. But right now we're moving forward with trying to get the extension office back open, of course. And with that comes to the end of my internship experience for this semester. And I just want to say thank you to Miss Marla Stillwell. I want to say thank you to the agents that I worked with, to the families and parents that I worked with, and of course to my professor. I had a wonderful experience, even though we had a pandemic occur in the middle of the semester. I still learned valuable information, and I look forward to continuing working with you guys in the future. Thank you.